Hello and welcome to the Bible for Worship at St. Paul Lutheran Church on this second Sunday after Pentecost, when our gospel reading is written in Luke's Gospel, chapter 8, verses 26 through 39. Then Jesus and the disciples arrived at the region of the Gerasenes, which is opposite Galilee. As he stepped out on shore, a man from the city who had demons met him. For a long time he had not worn any clothes, and he did not live in a house, but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, shouting, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For Jesus had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For many times it had seized him. He was kept under guard and bound with chains and shackles, but he would break the bonds and be driven by the demon into the wilds. Jesus then asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "Legion," for many demons had entered him. They begged him not to order them to go back into the abyss. Now there on the hillside a large herd of swine was feeding, and the demons begged Jesus to let them enter these. So he gave them permission. Then the demons came out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd stampeded down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When the swineherds saw what had happened, they ran off and told it in the city and in the country. Then people came out to see what had happened. And when they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone, sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. And they became frightened. Those who had seen it told them how the one who had been possessed by demons had been healed. Then the whole throng of people of the surrounding region of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave them, for they were seized with great fear. So he got into the boat and returned. The man from whom the demons had gone out begged that he might be with him, but Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you." So he went away, proclaiming throughout the city how much Jesus had done for him. The Gospel of the Lord. Thanks be to God. We encounter demons, and a complicated set of demons they seem to be, in a somewhat complicated story. And yet, for all of the elaborateness of the story and the references that to us may seem rather odd, Luke has what seems to be fairly clear gospel message. Jesus encounters a demon. Or is it demons, as we learn in the story that the name of this one is Legion, for there were many bound up in that one. And Jesus encounters this demon in a place that Luke represents as out there, literally the opposite of Galilee. Galilee, which we have known from Luke from the very beginning of the gospel, is the place of Jesus, Galilee of the Gentiles. But this is a place that is quite literally the opposite of Galilee. It's way out there. And that is the place where the confrontation happens, where Jesus has commanded the demons to come out of the man, and the demons confirm what we have known, but perhaps others in Luke's story don't yet, that Jesus is the Son of the Most High God. The demons recognize Jesus. They recognize his power. They recognize his authority. They don't challenge Jesus' command to them as though they don't have to obey it. They beg, they plead with Jesus only that they be allowed to enter that herd of pigs on the hillside rather than being sent back into the depths of the abyss, that unfathomable depth which represents all that is alienated from this world, all that is, in our terminology, hell. Don't send us back there, the demons say. And Jesus agrees and allows them to leave the man and enter the swine, whereupon that entire herd of pigs races down the hillside, over the cliff like lemmings, and is drowned in the sea. Sea of Galilee, but also the great original sea over which God has exercised control and dominion in order to bring about creation. And then the responses that become so significant. The swineherds run off and tell what's happened, and the city and the countryside empty out, coming to where Jesus is, and they hear the story and they are afraid. They fall back in fear, just like those who encounter God throughout the Bible. This is the fear of God that comes over them. And like the Israelites at Mount Sinai who say, no, 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 Moses, you go up the mountain. Don't make us come near to that power of God. These people ask Jesus to go away from them because of their fear. And Jesus gets in the boat and goes back over to Galilee, to Jesus's own territory, leaving them out there. The man who's been healed also asks to go with Jesus. He's a new convert after all. He's been convinced by what he's seen, by what he's experienced, by this miracle of cleansing and of exorcism, that suddenly what has tormented him for years, driven him out of society, driven him out into the wilderness, driven him out of his mind, this has finally been lifted from him by Jesus. And he wants to stay close to Jesus, as so often is true of new disciples. He has his own joy and well-being in focus. And Jesus has mission in focus. No, Jesus says, you stay. You go back to your city and tell what great things God has done for you. This is the fairly clear message that Luke tells through this dramatic, engaging, somewhat confusing story. The message that God's power in our lives heals us. No demon, nothing from which we suffer, nothing that torments us can stop God's power from healing us. And that is reason to rejoice. But not for its own sake, not only to hold on to that healing ourselves, but then to go and tell what it is that God has done and where others can find healing. God bless.